PMI came out at 50.6. What areas of manufacturing activity are recovering most quickly?
Well, if you look at the sub-index for the PMI, we see that actually new export orders declined slightly, but probably new domestic orders are still strong. That's why we think that the PMI in December suggests China is still on track of its gradual recovery.
Over the weekend, President Hu Jintao said China will work towards bolstering global economic growth in 2013 in his New Year's Eve address. Does that signal more easing policies from the new leadership?
I think at this moment, easing policies in China probably means very little because first of all, China has already eased quite a lot. And secondly, even if they ease from this point, the marginal benefit from further easing is probably limited. And we see that fiscal deficit is already stands at very large level relative to its historical standard, and the monetary policy easing will not help the economy, particularly the real demand, that much. And in that sense, we think probably China will rely on some quasi-fiscal measures, such as more lending to local government financing vehicle from the corporate bond market as well as the trust loan sector. And in that sense, we do see China is going to have a stronger growth in 2013, and we forecast 8.4 for 2013, while we think the quality of the growth is not going to get better, and because it's mostly driven by public investment rather than consumption.
What will be the key risks for China in the coming year?
The key risk is going to exist in the external sector. I think the recovery in Europe and the United States is still very questionable, and the exports to Europe and the United States still counts for almost 40% of China's total exports, and that's going to pose significant risks in China's external sector. While on the domestic side, we see that easing has already taken place, and we don't see much benefit from further easing of the pure fiscal measures and monetary policy measures.
2012 ended with a relatively rosy picture of recovery in China's economy. What is your 2013 outlook?
We think that 2013 is going to see a stronger growth of at least 8+%, and this is slightly more optimistic than the government assumption of 7.5% for 2013. The main reason is that we see another round of lending to local government financing vehicles, particularly in the corporate bond market as well as in the trust loan sector. Without those investment, China is going to have a hard landing issue over the near term. And in that sense, we think that China is going to have a stronger growth for 2013, but we'd like to emphasize that the quality of the growth is still remain mostly driven by investment rather than by consumption. So China is going to have another year of stronger but worse quality growth.